just stepped out. Thank you for letting me take your spot. Over the past 4 years, I've seen a shocking number of industries and individuals be denied financial services here in America. I recently spoke with a company in my home state that is in an industry that's often politicized but always lawful. Here's what's happened to them. They've been denied business due to, quote, reputational risk. They've been prevented from expanding their credit facility. They've been denied insurance policies, and they've been denied the ability to renew coverage. These are shocking problems that we see here, and this entire constellation of problems exists at multiple levels. First, you've got partisan ideologues that actually operate within banks, public affairs divisions, or their so-called reputational risk committees that are exerting their influence to choke off disfavored industries. You've got externally banks being pressured by political activist groups. You've got these shareholder proposals that are coming at the behest of a number of outside players, and particularly enabled by proxy advisory firms, which is another issue that this committee will get at. And lastly, we've had activist regulators that have abused their supervisory authority. They've imposed their own policy agendas that were never authorized by actual banking statutes or by the Congress. Bank examiners' subjective assessments of risk are ripe for abuse by ideologically motivated supervisors. The banks themselves are unable to speak out about debanking because when regulators pressure them to do it, there are strict confidentiality agreements, the requirements, I should say, that prohibit these banks from even mentioning the reasons for service denial. Clearly, the banks themselves are very concerned about regulatory retaliation. So whether this de facto debanking stems from either within the banks or within regulatory agencies, in both cases, we have unelected individuals that are dictating what kind of companies can exist and thrive in our nation, and with no directive at all from the American people or from their elected representatives. So, Mr. McCauley, I'd like to start with you. This morning, FDIC Acting Chairman Travis Hill released 175 documents relating to its supervision of banks who are attempting to engage in crypto-related activities. These documents confirm that banks faced extraordinary resistance and actually directives from supervisors to pause, to suspend, to refrain from expanding all types of crypto or blockchain-related activity. Mr. McCauley, have you seen us lose American companies and innovators to other jurisdictions as a result of the hostile posture of our federal government?
Senator Hagerty, thank you for the question. I actually printed out one of the documents that came from the FDIC drop this morning. It's right there in plain letters. Quoting, "We respectfully ask that you pause all crypto asset related activity." This is not suggestion. This is right to the heart of it. The FDIC was asking banks to pause their activity with crypto. The net effect of that, like you said, has been that a lot of the crypto activity has moved to other jurisdictions where people feel like they'll get a fair shake, like they will get a fair opportunity to actually build their business. This has been damaging. Many of these kinds of businesses are businesses that we want within the United States. Crypto businesses, crypto exchanges, and notably stablecoins. So I thank you for your introduction of the bill about stablecoins. I think charting a path forward here is very important to us, and thank you for your leadership.
Well, I think it's incredibly important, and this type of innovation that we'd like to see on American shores is being pushed offshore. Can you tell me who signed that memo that you're looking at right now?
This one is signed Eric T. Guyot, I think. He's the Assistant Regional Director.
Well, whoever this person is, I've never heard their name before. They certainly aren't an elected official. Yet this person is taking on the authority and the responsibility to debank an industry here that has tremendous potential. So I think it's deeply concerning. Mr. Gannon, I want to turn to you very quickly. There are important parts of our BSA and AML regime that are susceptible to weaponization for political purposes. Under our current system, senior public officials and their families can be designated as politically exposed persons, or PEPs. And once you're designated as a PEP, you think about it. Former Senator Sam Brownback was designated a PEP. It results in higher regulatory scrutiny and therefore an increased chance of account closure. In your view, Mr. Gannon, how can our BSA and AML regime most effectively balance what are legitimate law enforcement concerns with the risks that unwarranted account closures are going to occur, with the effect, the actual dampening effect, the chilling effect that we've seen taking place? How do we balance that?
Senator, there are two things I think that can be done. Number one is I think the partnership between the banks and the regulators needs to get into the 21st century, and there's much better technology that exists rather than sending armies of people to go around filling out SARs and filling out currency transaction reports. If you have better data, you will have better results. And if you have that result, that better result, then you can determine, is somebody being debanked because, in fact, they're a risk, or are they being debanked because they may have some sort of association that the regulators find unpleasant?
Thank you. Senator Gallego.